First, under number 3 are public hearings and presentations to by the board. And tonight, we're lucky to have the robotics team here. And they're going to present, but we have something to present to them first.
Is that them?
I
hope that's the robotics team.
And I just want to share some things that have been provided to me. First, I want to recognize the adult mentors who have played a big part in with the teams and worked, spent many, many hours with them. And I don't have the team names, I just have the team number. So maybe you can shout out to me what team name this is. 4964?
Rolla Patriots.
The Patriots. Their adult mentors were Phil Allen, Darren Harvey, Drew Satterfield, and Ryan, is that Matson? So if you're here, stand up so we can.
They all had to, they're either at school or work.
They're not here, okay. And with the next team, and it doesn't tell me which team it is Jenny Maples, Rob Van Hoos, Jim Cunder, thank you, Rosa Zhao, and Jill Fahrenholtz. If you're here, please stand so we can give you a hand. What team is that?
5893 direct current.
Direct Current. Those are great names. And then for the third team, the adult mentors are Chris Hedrick, Gary O'Day, and Linda Liu. Please stand if you're here, and we'll give you a hand. Thank you for your time with this. This is a wonderful program. We're so glad that you're a part of that. Also, I want to share that there were mentors for the whole group. Mrs. Leanne Tumbrink, which I'm not sure, is she here yet?
She made it. She did.
Oh, she's here.
She's hiding behind Nancy.
You come on down, please. And Morgan Long, who's a student at Rolla High School. Morgan's not here? Okay. Well, let me just say a little something. Morgan became a certified field technical assistant for FIRST FTC. Can you tell me what that is, FIRST?
First stands for
Maybe, do you mind getting over there by the microphone?
There we go.
Is it on?
Yes. Yeah, it's
You're on
working.
TV, so you're not
Yeah.
going to hear yourself amplified in here.
For inspiration and recognition of science and technology. And the
Okay.
FTC stands for First Tech Challenge.
Okay, very good. And he was an FTA at our Rolla qualifying tournament, which was just, how long ago was that?
It was in January.
Yeah, January. So thanks to Morgan. That's great. And Leanne received the Volunteer of the Tournament Award at our Rolla qualifying tournament. So thank you. And we've got a couple of certificates. I also want to, before we recognize the kids, I want to tell what awards they got as a team. So Team 4964, which was that the Patriots?
Yep.
All right. They received these awards at the Rolla qualifying tournament. The PTC Design Award. And again, I don't know what PTC stands for.
It's a type of software that it's PTC stands for their software.
Okay.
The company that makes it, but they had a unique design, and so they
Cool.
won the award for that.
Cool.
Fantastic. They also received the Inspire Award, third place.
And Inspire Award is the very top award that FIRST gives.
Okay, fantastic. And then they were a Tournament Finalist Alliance Award.
That means in the finals, they were actually one of the teams that competed in the finals.
Okay. And then at the state tournament, they received the Control Award.
It should be Connect. I must have typed that wrong.
Oh.
That's the Connect Award. That's where they have reached out to the engineering community and brought them in to help with the robotics team.
And is that some of the adult mentors that we...
Yes, they
Fantastic.
noticed that our adult mentors are engineers.
And then finally, the Patriots at the North Super Regional Tournament were 18th out of 36 in division preliminary matches.
Yes, they have preliminary matches. There was actually 2 divisions, so there were 72 teams total.
Holy
And
cow.
so in our division, there was 36 teams, and they ended up, in the preliminaries, they ended up 18th, but they did not make it to the finals.
Okay. And then for Team 5893, which again, you're going to have to tell me the name.
Direct current.
Direct current.
Direct Current. At the Rolla qualifying tournament, they received, and it says control, is that
That's
correct?
correct.
Control award, and also the Inspire award, second place.
Yes, and the control award is for their programming. They had, it not only were they had exceptional programming, but they also explained it well in their engineering notebook.
Okay.
Very good.
And the third team, 6168, which was Maniacal Mechanics.
That's right.
At the Rolla qualifying tournament, they received the Think Award. I like that.
That's for their engineering notebook.
Okay. And at the state tournament, they also received the Think Award.
Correct.
And at the North Super Regional Tournament, they were 13th out of 36 in division preliminary matches.
Correct.
That's fantastic. Okay, well, I'm going to come out with certificates, and Tony's going to read the students' names. He got the tough job.
Yeah.
And
Wish me luck on a few.
As he calls your name, if you'll come up, we'll have a certificate for you.
We do have lots of students that are either at a track meet or a soccer game right now. So,
And you'll help with the pronunciation?
yeah, I'll try.
Might be just a couple here. Are you ready for the students, or did you have the adult certificates first?
I have Leanne's right here.
Well, picture, please.
Oh,
Twitter.
That, 1, 2, 3. All right. Gotcha.
You'll be trending by 6 o'clock.
Jamie, once you hand me that, we'll give them to you one at a time that way. Go ahead. Yeah.
You need a robot to do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Work on that. in
We have
summer,
Patrick Allen. One of the names I can get right.
Very good.
maybe? Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
one for
he's a
one.
patriot.
Congratulations. Stay up there and we'll get a big group picture here in just a second.
And speaking of soccer, we have Ison Malone. I'm sure that's where she is.
Yeah, she's at soccer.
Okay.
Ben Maples. Didn't see Ben.
Algebra review for the big test at S&T.
But Jacob Pomerenke.
He's at the
Number
same
9.
thing, I believe.
We just want to
Busy
Tony to read
kids.
that name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carlos Calderos.
He's here, all right.
Calderas.
We have Bry Hogan.
And he's not here tonight either. He's sick.
Cody Santagrossi.
He's not here either.
Kristen Copeland.
She's not here either.
Brian Foskey.
No, he's not here
Troy. You
I say
bet.
obviously.
Hans.
There's things going on every night of the week.
It is.
Troy Thomas.
He's not here tonight either.
Drazen Gonzalez.
Drazen.
Drazen. Drazen. I apologize. I'm guessing that's not the first one to make a mistake. Nikki Hill.
He's not here tonight.
Is it Kylie Perkins?
She's not here either.
Rihanna Matson.
She's not here.
Ashanti Usubrafi.
She's not here.
Was I close?
Yes, very.
How about that?
Aaron Burke.
Yay. Judy or what?
Braden Wells.
He's not here tonight.
David Chow.
David's not here either.
I'm just going to wait till we find out if he's here.
Is it Adem Malone?
Autumn.
Autumn? Autumn Malone? Matthew Bryant.
He's not here tonight.
Tim Van Hoos.
He's not here either.
Carl Fahrenholtz.
He just all of a sudden caught the stomach flu. His mom let me know right away. Was not feeling well.
Benjamin Edwards. Ethan Parks. Matthew Fan,
No, he's not here.
Martin Holloway,
He's not here tonight either.
Quincy Powell,
He's not here.
Connor LaCroix,
He's at baseball.
Jesse Liu, Colton Hedrick,
They do.
Yeah, I like that.
You guys turn around so everybody can see it.
Is that it?
nope, we still got a couple more. Daniel O'Day,
He's not here.
Dawson Satterfield, Fletcher Collins,
Baseball.
Soham Parikh,
Not here.
Kevin Gao,
Kevin didn't make it tonight.
and last but not least, David Tatch.
He's not here either.
Well, all right.
No, you got them all.
All right.
Together.
Morgan Law. So maybe she can
Let's
take.
maybe push the tall guys in the back. Just right here behind. Right here behind draws, the tall guys.
Yes.
I got it. I'm good. Okay, you come down here.
All right, now,
You come down here.
Get the adults down
Dr.
here.
Zales needs to be able to see your face.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Very good.
All right, now turn around.
Because mom's
Turn
back
around
there.
so
Yeah.
the short guys are gonna have to
Guy,
walk
turn
through.
with the
Yeah. Turn as a unit.
Parents.
It's like a
Excellent.
paparazzi.
Yeah.
All right, big hand.
Good.
We're gonna do a demonstration too,
Yeah, I'd
right?
love to see it.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, Josh.
Mrs. Fulton, you need a picture? I'll give it to you. Since you helped me out last time.
Is it okay if I stand in front of the podium
Absolutely.
so you can see me? And I can see you. So we finally completed our long year. We started in August and we finished up at the Super Regional. So that is the yearbook picture that they took of most of the team members that, so you can kind of get more of a idea. There's 38 total, isn't that right? 38 total students. Those are programming students, mechanical, the building students, and the marketing students also. And like one of you said, they are very, very busy, very involved students.
And did the 38 stay the whole, through the
Yes.
whole time?
Pretty well, yep. So new for this year, we had some amazing growth. So we had to make a decision. Our first year, we let everybody join who wanted to join. And we couldn't do that as much this year. Last year, we broke it up into from one team to 3 teams, and we compensated that way with the total amount that we're wanting to participate. This year, we couldn't add any more teams. We don't have enough space. We don't have adult mentors or the funds for more teams. So we decided that we would make a new application where the students would actually have to apply to be members. And in that application, we decided that they needed to have requirements like they do with sports. Instead of just saying you're going to participate, we want to make sure that you are participating but keeping your grades up and your behavior, which most of our kids are like that. We expect that of them anyway. But we put in the paperwork that they couldn't have anything below a C, and they could have absolutely no behavior problems at all. We even if there was tardy issues, we discussed that with the students. I mean, we were pretty serious. We're representing our school, and we expect our kids to be the top representation of our school. So we had them sign it. We did also have them go through an interview process where we had the adult mentors this year were the ones that interviewed the students, and we made everybody reapply and be interviewed, even the kids that were returning. So we could ask them what are you going to do different this year? Do you have any conflicts? And so we made a pretty well overall new decision on who was going to be there and who wasn't. And we did have to limit our team membership. We tried to stick to 10, but when you have like 30 applicants and they're all amazing, it's really hard to say who are we not going to pick. And so I think one of the teams ended up with 13 at the beginning, I believe. Then the other two, I think, had 12 at the beginning. And we did tell the kids that could not fit into our 3 teams that they could actually be part of the marketing group, which would allow them to participate with us and travel with us. We just couldn't put all of them in one single room building robots. And we told them then if there was a chance where somebody did have an issue where they couldn't participate anymore, we would let one of them move up. And that would show us that they really were serious about robotics, all the parts of it, not just building robots, but everything about it. So that's how we handled our growth this year. Also new this year, we hosted our very first Rolla Robotics tournament. This was a hard sell. Last year at the end of the year, Missouri First Group had discussed that there were hardly enough tournaments for all the growth that was happening with FTC in Missouri. And when we would try to apply for spots last year at tournaments in St. Louis, they would all fill up immediately. And so we were forced to go to tournaments in Arkansas, Kansas City, just all over the place. And I approached the group that's in charge of Missouri, and I said, why can't we have one in Rolla? We're centrally located. We're right next to the interstate. We have the facilities that would be able to host the tournament well. And they came down and visited our area, and they also visited Camdenton, and they decided that ours would work. And so we originally were set up, I thought when they first visited, they said 24 teams, and then by the time the school year started, they'd changed it to 36. But we ended up with 28 teams, including our 3. And we needed several volunteers, and amazingly, we had over 100 people volunteer to help. And that was shocking to most of the other tournament people that ran their tournaments because they were begging people to volunteer, and we had an overabundance of volunteers. So we were very, very excited about that. And I think it went well. Most people, I didn't think I ever heard any complaints or things that went wrong, and we are going to continue to do that from now on. And one of the pluses for us, there were several, but first of all, it's in our home turf, but we did not have to pay to travel there. You know, it was here, so that saved us travel money. And as a host team, you get an automatic buy or automatic slot at state. And since we had 3, they graciously let us wait to decide until the very end who was going to be that 3rd place, which we really be that one to go for free. But we didn't need it anyway. They all 3 qualified on our own. But so anyway, it turned out very well. And another new thing that's not new to Rolla Robotics, but new to the first group itself in the international group, used to you would go straight from state to world. And world is really an international competition, and it's been in St. Louis ever since we've been competing. And for some reason, they tried to describe why, and I still don't quite understand it completely, but now they've added an in-between. Now you go from state to a super regional, and then the qualifiers at super regional go to world. And you can see the different states that are included. We went into the North Super Regional, which was at the University of Iowa, so ours was in the green area. Which was we were still able to travel to the actual competition the day of when it first started. Thankfully, it wasn't any farther. Some actually had to fly, but we got to drive. One thing it did open up, in the past when we competed at state, the only teams that could actually go from state to world was the top winning team and then the Inspire Award winner. So basically 2, sometimes 3 from Missouri would advance to world. And what this did was it made it to where almost half of the teams that were participating at state got to advance to the super regional. So they said, and then about almost half of those 76 then got to advance on again. It was a little less than half. But they said this, by putting in this extra event, it gives all the teams that are the upper teams a chance to get a big competition, not just a state competition. So, but either way, we felt very privileged to actually have made it there, because they told us at the opening ceremonies that we were in the top 3% of all their teams to have made it to the North Super Regional. So, and we did pretty well there. So right now, just real briefly, I'm going to let I can't let the coaches come up because 4964's coaches aren't here today. Phil and Darren, they both work for Brewer Science, and they're really working on their new building right now, so they couldn't make it tonight. So I guess I'll, Patrick, you want to talk real quick? We're not going to get into super detail like we did last year. We'll show you the robot. Did it lose Bluetooth? Well, why don't you just pick it up here, and they can see it. Their laptop is on its last legs for some reason, so they've been having communication issues with their laptop this year. But you can see, Patrick can describe some of the design at least for you.
Yeah, this year the challenge was to pick up blocks. That. So what we did was we built this scoop type device so we can pick up blocks and hold them. And then we also had to lift ourselves by doing a pull-up, which we used this for. And then
You had to lift the whole robot up?
Yeah, it did it. I saw it.
How much does it weigh?
Yeah, what does it weigh?
15 pounds. And then we also had to raise a flag by spinning a piece of PVC, which we used this for.
Cool.
Great.
It also wasn't our original design. We had actually a completely different design during state. We had set up flywheels that would pull in the box and a chute that would pick it up. So actually, in the time between state and the super regional, we completely changed our design.
Did the new design work better?
Well,
It's
it
up for
had
debate.
its pros and cons.
Yeah.
For example, we couldn't very well lift, could we? Our autonomous was better because with state we had lots of problems with our autonomouses. An autonomous is where our robot runs off of sensors and already compiled data for 30 seconds.
That's why I thought autonomous was.
What grade are you on?
I'm in 8th grade.
I'm in 11th.
I'm in 10th.
Very good.
Great.
It's blinking. Should we be
Thank
blinking?
you.
Stuff, guys.
Okay, so the next is direct current, 5893. So we'll let Miss Maples, you want to start?
Current.
Or do you want
Buy
to
something
You
that
want
needs put together.
Do you want us to bring the robot up first, or do you want us
Yeah.
drive it out?
Drive it out.
That's right.
Pick your feet up.
Okay, well, we'll have a few guys going at once. So, yeah, he pretty well explained the game well enough, so I don't think I'll have to do that.
Your challenge was the same?
Yeah, we all have the same challenge, and we all kind of work together, but we compete against each other at the same time. And even though we all share the same workshop, we still have 3 very different designs and progresses to try to conquer the challenges. What we have that's kind of unique is we use Omni wheels, which these wheels have wheels on them, so they can go in any direction. Go Yeah, go backwards now, sideways, just diagonals.
Oh, yeah.
So basically it lets us crab walk, so when we pick up blocks and stuff, rather than stopping and rotating around, we can just back up. I would show you how we pick up blocks, but we burnt out this servo, which is what we use to kick blocks up. But everything else works. So turn on the conveyor belt would run blocks down here where we have a stopper, and the stopper would open and close to let blocks out. Go ahead and turn that off because it's a little loud. So lift this. So yeah, keep going. Go ahead and stop. So this is about its max height, and to pull ourselves up, we would place this and reel in the string, which can hold up to like 200 pounds, which is well over the size of our robot. So that's worked pretty good. Go ahead and lower it. And then we have our flag spinner, which there's a flag we have to raise, and we have it on a gear ratio so that it'll spin really, really quickly and raise the flag faster.
Careful where you put your fingers.
Yeah. So that's just how the robot
We should
works
build one
pretty
of
well.
these, maybe.
So how challenging was it to unload the blocks and try to keep your load balanced?
Actually, it wasn't a very big deal. Here, what blocks do we have? Just so we can. Here. Yeah.
The gym question.
Funny you
What,
ask.
2 more?
The gym question. Huh?
Here.
This is the gym question.
Yeah, we can hold up to only 4 blocks anyways because that's the rules. Otherwise, people would take all the blocks at once and then just put them in the buckets. But, okay. Oh. So the conveyor belt we would have running full time, and the stopper keeps them from coming out. So go ahead and go over and raise the lift. And when we raised it, no issues. And if we have the conveyor belt turned on, they can't come out this way. Go ahead and turn it on and rotate. Rotate and shake. These won't be able to come out because they can't build enough traction. And even if, usually we'll, just in case, turn this up so that it won't. But it hasn't happened to us before.
Wow.
We won the Control Award for having the best written autonomous program. Part of the reason for that is we were able to find, using this sensor here, the IR beacon, and then put a block in the IR bucket, all without just touching the remote, just having it go up and do it. And that was one of the neat things, is programming that and getting that to work just perfectly right. It took a lot of time. And then we also have other sensors like this. It's a touch sensor, which lets us know once we've reached farther, the lowest we can go, can't go any lower, it'll press that button and it'll tell it to stop no matter what we tell it to do, unless we tell it to raise. So,
It's like a safety.
yeah. Oh, unless it gets caught. And we have it abled so it can run both ways. That's pretty well it about our robot.
Great.
Any questions?
Fantastic.
Hold on.
Thank you.
I guess we should have asked them what grades they're in. Yeah, what grades are you all in? Are your team members?
Let's have everybody come over here. Everybody that's here.
We'll
We
drive
actually
it.
have,
We'll drive it.
I think, 4 8th graders, or just about, and I'm a freshman.
8th grade. I'm also in 8th grade.
Great.
Wow.
Hey, Leanne, didn't you mention last year that you get the robots in a set kit? But did you,
The
is
metal.
the difference in the wheels, how much autonomy do you have in designing these?
They opened it up this year quite a bit more. The metal part, this is called Tetrix, and when we buy the kits, the metal comes with it. We get the Omni wheels. We get, do we get tread in the kit? We don't, do we? So it's mainly the metal, and you get a couple different types of wheels, but only one set. And you get a servo. You get very minimal. But this year they did open it up that we could buy any wheel within a certain size. And they did let us pick, we could buy locally some of the servos that we used instead of ordering it. They've opened it up a lot. We could go to Lowe's and like the drawer slide that 5893 has, that's on their lift. That's pre-made, so they didn't make that. But they're finally in the big robots, FRC, they manufacture everything to where used to you're very restricted to just these parts, but they're getting to the point where this is growing so much that they want the kids to get the experience of building what they want. And so we're opened up a lot now to our parts. Oh, and yeah, we did make some gears. Was it mainly the gears with 3D printers? We had one of the dads that works at Missouri S&T. They made some. We gave him what we needed, and he made it on a 3D printer, and we're allowed to do that.
Are you able to recycle any parts like from last
Oh,
year?
yes. Yeah, we are allowed to. That's the benefit of not being a rookie team anymore. You're allowed to buy, as a team, you're allowed to buy one kit a year. And so we can keep accumulating. A rookie team, they have that one kit and that's it, where we have several. Now what happens, since we have 3 teams, we all start scavenging off each other's carts and robots and things towards the end. And 5893, they were very gracious to, right before we went to the Super Regional, 4964, they needed a main motor controller, which is what you put all the wires in to tell it what to do. And we didn't have one, and you couldn't order it in time. And so we ended up taking one off of 5893 because they were getting ready to demo that Saturday too, but they were gracious enough and say, here, you need it. So we share everything, and by the time we're done, we've run out of everything. They just keep adding on. So, and the last team we have is the Maniacal Mechanics.
Best dressed award.
And they have, it's really funny that you guys kind of laughed at their name, because every time they compete, nobody gets their name right. They call them the Mechanics or the Maniacal Maniacs. They never can get Maniacal Mechanics.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard name to get.
That's
What
kind of
grades
weird.
are
This
you
one's
I'm a freshman.
We're all freshmen.
Yeah.
going to fly off the counter there? Or they gonna...
Yeah, it actually has a spinner on the bottom. It makes it fly.
Hey, it could.
I'm ducking.
That's next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, as you can see, our robot's actually unique, even though we all share a workshop and we all came with our unique design. Because as you can observe, the main observable difference is that we have treads different to their wheels. And our lift system is a simpler pull-up system, but it's quite powerful. Our robot's around 30 pounds. It's never had any issues lifting the prerequisite weight that it needs to. And another thing is we're a second-year team. We're one of the younger teams here. And we advanced to state to Super Regionals with our Think Award, which is based off our mechanical notebook, which you can see over here. And it has everything we do as we do it. We record it in our notebook, and it just shows our engineering process. We have
That goes to the judges?
Yes, and they judge us off the notebook. We have a marketing notebook for our marketing aspect that our marketing team put up together. And then we have our mechanical notebook, which we put together. And also, we also changed robot design quite a bit. This actually started off as just a large bucket, and we would just try to feed it into the bucket, and we'd try to lift it off and dump it. And the thing is, that didn't work because the bucket would go everywhere, it'd fly out, and it was horribly inefficient. So we replaced it with this. It's much more efficient, a lot more controlled. And can you guys demonstrate it for us? And this goes up and down. It can go to the highest height, the buckets, to the lowest. Doesn't matter. You can do it. And as you can see, this can hold a maximum of 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it all is contained. It's self-contained. Works really well. And we've also actually manufactured some of these by ourselves. We took the black clay carbonate and some plastic, and we all cut it by ourselves in-house, domestically made here. And we also have a system of wires you can't really see, but if you take it here, we wired all this ourselves, our programming team and our mechanical team. They collaborated to not do that, to wire the wires together. And we have a variety of wires that we all wired by ourselves. Also, our program is all independently programmed by our team. We had some help from our great adult mentors, Mrs. Liu, my mom, and Mr. O'Day. They've been great, and they've helped us out the programming aspect of the team. That's the hardest part. And mechanically, we actually handle ourselves pretty nicely. If we have any trouble, the internet, great place. Libraries, they're all great. And that's our robot, really. And this, and also we have a flag spinner on the back. And as it works on a gear ratio, and it looks kind of sketchy because of the duct of the electrical tape, but that's for purpose of grip. And it swings out here, and it'll just spin the flag up. But our main, our pride and joy really is just our lift here. It's never failed us. It's been through thick and thin. It operates on a rack and pinion, very powerful, very reliable. It's been with us the whole time. This has been really the only consistent aspect of our design. But the hardest part, I would say, for us is starting all over every single year because the challenge changes every year. We had to change our chassis, everything. We had to rechange it. Last year we had a lot of success at state. It's just some programming issues, but like I said, laptops on its last legs, getting old. But the main thing this year was we had to change design a lot. It was a lot of trouble to go through design, but it was a fun process, and you can see it detailed in our mechanical notebook. Any questions?
I like how you have pictures in here too.
Yeah, it's like our little mixture of a notebook with a scrapbook. It's more visual. It's more visual.
That's great.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So when do you find out what next year's challenge is?
Next year's challenge, they always release it usually the second weekend in September.
Okay.
And then our first competition usually is about the first weekend in December, first or second weekend in December. So we go.
How often?
It depends. At the very beginning, it's a consistent Tuesday evening and Sunday afternoon. We plan a weekend and a weeknight because our kids are so active in other things and we did require them to have an attendance rate also. And so we were like, well, if at least you can make it half the time, if you're in sports Tuesday night, you can be there Sunday afternoons or whatever. So we didn't turn away people because they were involved in other activities. But by the time you get closer to a competition, we were meeting every night. And sometimes till midnight, 1 o'clock. I mean, when it was getting close to the competition the next day, you just stay till it works. And we find that robots have a definite personality, and 1 minute they work, nothing wrong with them, and you haven't changed anything. And you come in the next day, and they don't even turn on, and you're like, what's wrong? So I know the notebook you're looking at, that was the award that 61681 won. They won the notebook award. And so they had the top engineering notebook in Missouri. So they did pretty good this year with that part. The robot, like Jesse said, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And they did alter it and try and find things. But, and then Jenny wanted me to point out the trophies, all the trophies,
Yeah.
all the
Hold them up
awards
so
that
everybody
you,
can see
yeah,
'em.
hold up all your trophies. All the awards that you mentioned, that's their trophies that they got.
Do they get very much time at the competitions to network with the other students and see, or do they pick up things?
Yeah, when you first get there, registration is at 7:30, and usually 10:30, 11 o'clock is when the opening ceremonies are. So between 7:30 and that 10:30, 11 o'clock, they're having their interview, which is about 30 minutes. But besides that, they're networking with the other teams, so that they can find out what the other teams do, who would be a good partner for them. And they do. As you watch the competitions, they get ideas. So like 4964, they went from original where they just grabbed the blocks to this scooper bucket system, and the majority of the ones we saw at World, I watched a lot of videos online. A lot of them were bucket systems. So you just by the time we get to the final one, all of our robots kind of start looking alike. We all kind of tweak and use each other's ideas to see what we have could be the best.
Are you able to make any tweaks or changes from the regional to the super regional?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We 4964 completely changed their robot. They went from what they had at state to what they had at the super regional. Now our marketing is ran by Mrs. Yao. And I was going to have Drazen just say a few things about what they do at marketing. We're very proud of our marketing group because we don't have to send out anybody and pay anybody to design our T-shirts. I mean, Mrs. Yell's marketing team designed the T-shirts, every single thing that you see. This year we had somebody else make the T-shirts, but we designed them. So Drazen can tell you a little bit about that.
A lot of things we do with the marketing team. We do, like, we worked on some of the flyers, thank you cards that we handed out. A big thing is, like Mrs. Tummering said, with the T-shirts. Last year, actually, our last year's shirts, we hand printed them. But this year we decided we used heat vinyl, but we had problems with it falling off. And so we decided this year that instead we'd had Key Sports print it, and we actually designed these shirts ourselves on an Adobe.
They're voguing.
No, it's Adobe. Photoshop. Not Photoshop.
Illustrator.
Illustrator. We use Illustrator, and we designed these shirts and sent the files to Key Sports, and they printed them for us. We also did 5893s. We did.
Make sure we
Down
want
the
you to start
runway.
at the top
Yeah.
of the steps.
We're gonna put some music on.
What's our runway? We also do the banners that we hang up at competitions that show our team.
Robotics fashion show.
You guys have this down.
Oh, I like it.
We also this year we actually got a button presser, a button maker, and because a big thing at World was a lot of teams handed out buttons, so we made a button got a button maker. We actually made buttons. We printed them out and just pressed them.
Cool. Good deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good.
I believe in the future, school board would like some buttons.
Oh.
So you sort of like swap buttons with other teams?
So how many
This is the
kids
button they made.
applied overall? You said there were
That
38
cool?
participants.
We
Do you
kept
know?
38, and we ended up, was
Okay,
it
okay, this is,
about 20
That
probably
me?
that we denied.
60.
That said they could go to marketing if they wanted to, and a lot of them chose not to. So, but anyway, and Miss Maples, we had at the enrollment fair at the junior high, they had the robot there, and she said we have lots of interest again. And so, once again, this summer we'll meet to discuss how do we handle all these new kids to decide who we get to keep and who might not be on it.
So now, we did the Lego robotics at university a month or so ago, a couple weeks ago. So there's Lego robotics for the elementary students.
Yes.
And this is,
This is FTC. It actually starts,
is there one in the middle?
FTC is the middle. There's actually a junior first Lego League, which I think is was that what they worked at that Discovery thing?
Yeah, they were all.
It was
yeah.
junior. It was junior Lego League, which is kindergartners,
Right.
little bitty guys.
Yeah.
Then there's a first Lego League, which is middle elementary school. And then we're the junior high through high school if we want it to be. And then FRC is high school only, the really big, expensive robots.
Okay.
So a lot of the teams that win the big Inspire Awards, like at World especially, they work with the little kids and bring them up, is what they're encouraging them to
You
do.
guys were all over there, or at least some of you were.
some of you
Yeah.
were,
Yeah.
oh, at S&T that day.
Yeah, that was the day that we were competing at Iowa.
It was like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
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 So cool.
Yeah. So just some things with our growth that we do. We would love any kind of brainstorming ideas. Our funds, since we do have 3 teams, and thanks to good old First Robotics adding that extra in between super regional, now instead of just possibly 1 team advancing, now we could possibly have 3 teams advancing. And the registration alone for the super regionals is $500 a piece, and for World is $1,000 a piece. And so we try to budget ahead of time in our minds how much money we need if everybody was successful. And it doesn't include transportation costs, big expenses like laptops or tools. A lot of our tools are donated. So we fundraise a lot. But Rolla, bless their hearts, they're fundraised a lot by lots of groups. And so we are searching for that magic corporate sponsor that would put, because we see them a lot at bigger competitions, you know, like the big names out of St. Louis that put their Boeing or they put their name on a robot, and then they're guaranteed. One lady we talked to, she had, they said, we'll put your name on your robot if you give us $5,000, and she said they had 2.
Wow.
And so we haven't found that yet. So we're, we had a really good fundraiser with Sacalaris Ford. They brought our Driven to, what was it called? Driven to Give. And that was our best fundraiser we ever had. We made almost $4,000, which is great to us because normally our Pizza Inn fundraisers and things are $500, $700. So we're trying desperately to figure out ways and somebody to reach.
It's the financial that keeps us from expanding to a 4th team?
Yes, I mean, we went from about 6,000, it almost doubled going from 1 team to 3 teams, which they're amazed by the fact that we can keep it in that price range for 3 teams. When we talk to some of the people that interview us about how we manage our budget, we just share everything. So we don't need, and like I said, we have lots of donated items. The laptops, 2 of them we bought at the surplus at S&T. I mean, we try really hard to get the kids what they need, but we don't buy the top of the line, you know. We have a drill press that was donated to us. We just, whoever, you know, if somebody says, hey, I have a garage sale, I have a leftover saw, do you need it? Yeah, we'll take it. You know, we pretty well whatever. We use everything we get usually.
And where do they do their work?
We, thanks to the high school, I mean, we started out at RTI, and they needed the room that we had, and so we went to the high school, and there's a science room that so far they haven't needed, and they're letting us use it. So it gets kind of cramped when there is, which that's our thing, when we've gone to 38 kids, and when all the adult mentors are there, we have about 50 people in one room and a 12 by 12 practice field in a biology room, and it gets very loud and very cramped. And our programmers, especially when they're trying to think and work, we've actually tried to go into some other classroom area just to be quiet for a little bit, but that's our hope someday, is to have a space where it's for everybody. But I mean, we're very grateful for the high school, because that biology room right now, it takes care of what we need. You know, we need space. So, and thankfully we've got it. And our adult mentors, I mean, the 4th team, a 5th team, we can't grow unless we have adult mentors. You know, my husband gets kind of unhappy with me when I'm at robotics every single night. And Miss Maples, same way. And so we try and spread it out, and when there's not enough adult mentors to be there to help, then we can't, you know, I'd love to be there every night and support them, but I can't. So, and we're expanding some. We have, like, you know, Phil Allen, he got Darren Harvey from Brewer Science this year. He thinks he has another one next year. So we do find them, but it's hard to find one that can, it takes a lot of time. Yeah. Jim Kumper knows. I mean, when you're not a faculty member, you know, you're giving extra, we're faculty members, we work with the kids, and so we have that connection. But our adult mentors that come in just because, that's amazing that they do that, and they give so much time. People would be shocked how much time it takes. And right now our kids are having withdrawal because we're not meeting right now. They're like, when are we having another meeting? So
Leanne, the laptop, you have to have new laptops. You don't need.
Well, our $50 laptops are working.
And if we would have a
yeah,
laptop.
yeah. I mean, right now, when we first started, the school did purchase 4964's laptop, and it's, for some reason, is not behaving, so we're going to be passing that on to Ginger to look at. But the other 2, you know, the laptop that the school bought for us was $1,200. Well, we can't afford that, so we had a couple of parents helped us buy the $50 laptops at Missouri S&T at the surplus, and they work. They work fine, but we have Bluetooth issues. We have Wi-Fi connection issues because they're old, you know, but the kids work with them. Mm-hmm. So they do with what we have, and we've been very successful with what we have. So, I mean, Aaron can attest to that. Jenny had to go out and buy a Wi-Fi extra. Right. So, I mean, the kids are so creative on how they can solve problems. You know, maybe they're so good because they learn how to work with what they have. We don't just give them the best instantly, but they do. They solve lots of problems. Sometimes adult mentors can't figure it out, and they get it working. So they're very bright young men and women that are really good problem solvers, and I hope to see a lot out of them someday from being engineers or whatever they're going to do. So we do, even though we have needs, we do want to say thank you very much, because we wouldn't be here without the support, first of all, of all the schools. You know, we have a building. Dr. Pritchett has amazingly helped out wherever he could financially when we needed to find a bus to help us get to North Super Regional. You know, they had jeans fundraisers, anything to try and help us, where teachers wore jeans for a week and we paid money to wear them, and that went to the robotics team. And so Dr. Pritchett's been very supportive. Dr. Zallis has been very supportive. You know, we are very appreciative of what Rolla Schools does for us, because there are lots of teams that we compete with that are private completely, and they don't have what we have. They have to find everything, and we're very thankful that we have Rolla Schools. And then CORE has been amazing. The grants that the schools get where we applied, like the junior high, I don't even know how much money CORE gives per each school, but we've gotten almost, I think, a little over $3,000 from those CORE grants that the school, we would write to the CORE for the high school or the junior high and ask for funds, and they've never turned us down. They always have given us money to help with transportation or for those registrations and things. So that has helped a lot. And we have lots of friends and local businesses and parents that have given tons. And we do try to give out thank you cards, but sometimes, you know, when a grocery store donates hot dog buns or something, maybe we don't tell them enough that we really do appreciate what everybody does for us, seriously. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leanne, I think Ben Maple slipped in back there, so there's his certificate.
She may want to take all those certificates and get to the students. She'll see them.
Okay. Thank you. Very good, outstanding. So glad you all are here.